Hello and welcome back to the second part of this fantastic seascape painting that we are doing.
So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe.
And well, we've worked on the sky, so let's simply just work on the sea now. Let's put some black gesso on. The reason I'm doing that is because my canvas is gone quite smooth. I need to reapply some gesso in order to give my paint something more to grab to, basically. And what I thought, I just use a little bit of black gesso that I made myself. There you go. Exactly the same way as making white gesso, just with black paint. There you go. Check my playlists out, which you'll find on my main channel. I go to www.youtube.com/c/Clive5art, and that's going to take you into my main channel, and then you'll find all my videos there, and then in playlists as well. I'm just going to apply some gesso onto the canvas. I know it looks drastic, but it'll all work out for the best. There we go. Oh, I just found my brush. Yeah, I found my brush. Look, I put my brush out ready and I couldn't find it. And now I found it. It's always the same when you're trying to look for something. It's always in the last place you left it. Be good for us to actually know the last place we left it, wouldn't it? Anyway, we just put this in.
It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe.
Okay, now I encourage you to go and buy some of my liquid clear if you haven't already got some, and that is available on my website. I'll tell you why, because I find that this is a lot easier. This is like a Bob Ross technique, and I converted it into acrylics, and it works really well, especially if you're working in a hot environment. You don't need a lot of pigment, liquid clear on your brush for this, so you just need to put a little bit of that on, like that. There you go. Just need to put a little bit of that on, like that, and that's going to keep that surface wet. It certainly is. I'm not going to come all the way down. I'm just going to go so far because I want to do the top section first, and you can do that. You can. So I get a little bit of ultramarine blue on my brush. I'm going to push that in like this. Darken that all up. Lovely. Nice dark colour. Like that. A little bit of cerulean blue then. Just here and there. Just to give it a little bit of light. Like that. And you've got that lovely glow of colour there. Now, what we do now is we wipe our brush. Let's get a little bit more. Let's just get a little bit more ultramarine blue on the back of that horizon there, like that. Now, changing the brush over to a 1/2 inch short flat. My chair is squeaking. Picking up some pure titanium white just on the very tip of that brush and smoothing it down like that, getting a nice sharp edge like that. Let's see how sharp that edge is. And now I'm just gonna put little lines like this, using the brush in a rocking motion. Like that. Now inevitably I'm going to be asked, can I just use flow improver or retarder or something to do like that to do this? And you can try. I don't know. I honestly don't know if that will work. But you can certainly try. If you want to try that, then let me know if you can get the same effect as I'm getting here. But this is still wet, as you can see, and it's going to stay wet for some considerable time until I put a dryer on it. So I'm just bringing in some shapes and increasing the amount of white that I'm putting down just to get a bit of colour. We've got some nice crashing waves coming in here in a second. Just building that up. You can see a little bit of that cerulean blue coming through now. I'm just popping that in there like that. Bringing it down. Don't worry too much about here because we got plenty to play with here now. Bringing that over there a bit more. Leave a couple of the darker spots in there. Look, we got a crushing wave going to come in, so I'm going to put that roughly there, I think, and that's going to come across around there like that. So that's my, I'm going to draw that in now, roughly there like that, and that's going to go off that way like that, so we can play with that. There we go. We can play with that in a second. What I want to do now is get a little bit of my phthalo green, and I want to put a little bit of green tinge now into this water like this. Picking up the brush, and I'm just going to put a few waves coming in like that. Nice breakers coming in there, all the way along there, like that. Wiping the brush, just put in a little bit of that paint. Very, very gently. You can see the paint is still wet. There we are. And it looks like there's a big wave coming in there now. And we could have another one just maybe start in there. And that's like that. That's fading off. It's just breaking. Pulling it slightly towards you like that. Bit more paint. It's already broken, that one. A few little dinky dots in there and that. There we go. I think we can remove this tape now so we can see exactly where we are with that. We've got a little bit of bleed through there, but we can correct that in a second because I want to lighten that off in a second anyway. So now we can see I've got a little bit of bleed through there, but that's not a problem. Now we can see exactly where we are. So let's just put some small shapes in like this. There you go. bit of white by there. I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine blue to it, and a bit of burnt umber. There you go. Because I want to put a bit of shadow in here, like as if there's a big load of breaking wave things there. Just pushing that in like that, and we're going to have that coming up like that. The shadow in. Changing my brush. I want to get a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of green, a little bit of that phthalo green in there, a little bit of phthalo green in there. I'm going to have a little dab of my liquid clear, a little bit of yellow ochre. I want to get that yellowy look in there. Touch of white, touch of white. Come in like this. Let's get some more liquid clear. And let's just put some liquid clear down here. Get a bit of phthalo green, pushing that into that, spreading that in there. There you go. A little bit of white on your brush, just a little bit of white, bringing that in. Lightly brush over the top of that. Let's get a little bit more white. Touch of green. Let's just get some colour in there. There we go. Spread it in. Bit of blue. Bit of ultramarine blue. Mix it all together. What we want now is a small blending brush, or one of my blending brushes there. You can get these on the website as well, www.clive5art.co.uk, and you want to just smooth that through, getting rid of some of them brush strokes like that. A bit. Let's just bring that down. Let's get a little bit more liquid clear on my brush. A little bit of cerulean blue, a little bit of ultramarine blue. Let's just get a little bit of colour in there. Think of the arc of the wave. That's what a lot of people struggle with sometimes when they're doing this, is the actual arc there like that. A bit more brush on your paint, a bit more paint on your brush. Let's get a bit of that shadow colour in there. Let's use a smaller brush. Let's get a bit of that shadow colour in there, like as if it's just coming down like that, just break in there like that. Okay, let's put a bit more white. Try and smooth that bit out there like that. Trying to paint this on an angle, it's not easy. Get a bit of ultramarine blue in. Dragging this brush across. Get a bit of blue in there, I think. Let's get some liquid clear on my brush. What I'm going to do is pick up a little bit of yellow ochre, and I'm going to put that in very lightly like that to represent maybe a little bit of sand colour. A bit more phthalo green. A bit of colour in there. Let's put a little bit of burnt umber in, just to darken its sand off a touch, I think. There we go. Get some more blue, building this water up. lightly dragging some white through. Finding that shape of that water. Again, a little bit more white, just dragging that across. And just keep adding bits of white here, there and everywhere. What I'm going to do now, so I'm just going to dry that off a touch, I think, because it's starting to get a little bit sticky for me. As we're waiting for that to dry, what I'm going to do is get a little bit of my medium mix. I'm just going to thin down a little bit of this ultramarine blue. And I'm just going to blow down bits of this sea like this, a little bit cerulean blue as well. Let's get a little bit of blue in there, like that. Nice. Just thin it down. Try and sharpen that edge up. You've got a better edge than I am, I'm sure. My edge was a bit thick, so I just wanted to lighten up that water a touch, like that, with a bit of cerulean blue, because my paint dried a little bit quicker than I wanted it to, but still, you can see what we're doing. Strengthen up those. A bit of ultramarine blue in here, just to darken down that section. There we are. Don't worry about going over that white, because that's good, because we can put blue over that and then the white is going to adopt the blue. I mean, what we can do then, we can add some shadows in. That's going to be obscured mainly anyway there. We can get some white on the same brush, again putting it to a nice thin sharp edge, and then just go in and re-emphasize some of these breakers like that. Light touch. Looks good. It does where I am sitting anyway. Let's get a little bit more blue. Let's get a little bit of lighter blue just across off there like that. Just want to cool that section down a touch there. That's better. You can play around too much sometimes, so don't do what I do. Leave well alone. Yeah, that'll be alright. That'll be okay. So we had a bit of ultramarine blue, didn't we? We had a bit of burnt umber, and we burnt that down. It's been burnt umber, and let's put some shadows in there. We could work on that a little bit more, I think. I think we could. Put a little bit of shadow. And let's get to a titanium white. Like putting clouds on. Just find those shapes. It's starting to blow. It's coming in really heavy there. And this is crashing. Storm is building. Sea is building up to crash over. It's like exactly like putting clouds on. Exactly like putting clouds on. Follow that line across. It's a baby one that's going to erupt into a big one. You brush on, push it across like this, look. Put a bit of foam patterns in. Loosely, loosely, loosely like that. Just letting the brush act like foam. It's all dry brushing now. This is all dry brushing, very little paint on the brush, but it looks as if there's water coming in and a couple of stronger lines here and there now. It's all over the shop, it really is. It's everywhere. Put some finer details in a second. But this water is just whoosh, whoosh. A neat trick with this in a second. I'll show you a neat trick with this in a second. Just don't need to work hard with this at all. Okay, so let's just get a little tiny little bit of yellow. I just want to get a little bit of yellow. He says, a little bit of yellow, come on. little bit of yellow. Yay! Once again, a little tiny filbert brush. This is a number 6. I'm using a little bit of what's left in my pot of my liquid clear, or you can use a little bit of water if you wanted to. And I'm just getting our brush. I'm just going to put the eye in there. I'm going to lighten this area down. Like that. Easier with oils, but you can still do it with acrylics. Just get a little bit of light coming in, like that. Bit of ultramarine blue. Put a shadow in there. Darkening that down a touch. You can get a little bit of ultramarine blue and you can put it along the bottom of that there, just to give it a bit of a shadow. Make some ultramarine blue in. Okay, so bit of medium mix, a bit of ultramarine blue, or you can use a little bit of water, and let's just put some shadow marks in this water now. Just loosely, just put some shadow marks in, a little bit of ultramarine blue. Let's darken up some areas. Could use a bigger brush, and we could try a bigger brush. This is turning out to be a mammoth painting, but I'm enjoying myself. So a bit of ultramarine blue, a bit of medium mix or water, whatever you want to use is fine by me. And I'm just getting some darker colour in this area here. I'll add a little bit of phthalo green to my brush, just to get that feeling of maybe some colour of the sea just coming through there like that. There's a little bit of white coming off my brush, that's fine also. Let's get some more ultramarine blue. Bit of cerulean blue now. Let's put some bit of cerulean blue in there. Again, go through a bit of that green. Just get a tinge of green in there. You can see I'm going over some of that white. Again. Building colour. Building colour. bit of shadow colour in there. Just dirty a little bit of area off. Just get a little bit more light. Here's my yellow ochre, a bit of burnt umber. Let's put a bit of sand in here. As if there's a little bit of a beach coming in, and just in the bottom corner. Okay, it is a lot more detail we can do to this, but I'm gonna pick up a little bit more of this blue and just gonna put some shadows in, leaving some of that black in place like that. Okay, I need to wash my brush very quickly. I want to put some more white into this foam. More white, a bit more white. Put some white on top of that again now. It's going everywhere. Big stormy day. Got a small angled short flat which I'm just gonna drag back a little bit of paint like that. So I'm gonna put it on with this brush. And I'm gonna drag it back with that brush. Tell you what we could do. We could put maybe like on a brush. We could put there's just some burnt umber and some black. So we could put some rocks maybe there like this. That's you've got to have something for these rocks to these waves to smash up against. Put some rocks in the sea there. Some small rocks, some baby rocks then there. Maybe. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? I was just going to come in and just hit that one rock there. Another rock. Another rock in front of that one. There we go, like that. All rocks. Just get a little bit of white on my brush and just emphasize a few shapes. I'll let that dry in a second. There we go. How's that looking? It's looking pretty good, I think, at the moment. It is. I think I'm going to have to let that dry now because we need to put some... Let's just get some white paint on my brush. Just a second. I just want to put some foam patterns in, like this. Just water splashing over like that. Very lightly, but some water running down there like that. I think before we ruin it, I think we're going to have to just stop a second, and we can just let that dry, and then we can come back with new eyes, like we did earlier, and just finish this off maybe. Yeah, I think that's what we should do before it ruins it. So I'm going to dry that off and we're going to come back with fresh eyes. And I've come back and it's a little bit drier now, so that's good. And again, you can see the colour intensity is changed. So I'm going to pick up, I don't know, a little bit of burnt umber there, like that, and a little bit of yellow ochre, touch of black, just to get a dark colour. Picking up some kitchen roll, looking at my painting, and I thought, let's just put a few highlights on these rocks like that. It's like as if they're catching a little bit of light. Just drag them down, very loose patterns like we did with the clouds and the sea. Just leaving those loose patterns there, using the brush very loosely. There you are. Very effective, isn't it? Very, very effective, like that. There you go. Don't need a lot of detail on things like this, really. You have a look at some old paintings and you see in museums and things like that, and have a close look. There's not a lot of detail in them. It's more effective as the further away you sit, in fact. Okay, so that's all I need to do. That's all I need to do. Washing our brush very, very quickly. I'm picking up another bit of white paint just on the very edge of that brush, and I just want to go in, just increase a little bit of a foam pattern, just to tidy things up, but brighten up a little bit here and a little bit there. Just brighten up a little bit here and there, like that. There you go. You can do that or not. It's entirely up to you. I don't mind. A little bit of colour coming off my brush there, doesn't matter. It adds to it all. It really does. Let's get a little bit of that burnt umber and that colour we've done. I made a shadow colour there, didn't I? A little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of ultramarine blue. And let's just put a little bit of shadow. Let's just darken that up a touch. A little bit of shadow under these waves like that. There you go. What we can do, we can take it a stage further and get in our script lining brush, and these are again available on my website www.forclifeart.co.uk. Get in some ultramarine blue, dragging that through, very, very thin tip on this brush, and holds a lot of paint. They hold a lot of paint, and now we can just put in some wiggly marks. I'm not going to do too many, but I'm just going to show you that you can put some shadow marks and wiggly wavy lines like that. Little wiggly wavy lines like that. And it all helps with the effect, doesn't it? It does. Put as much detail into this water as you want. These are all little shadow lines. You can get a little bit of white paint. A little bit of white paint over there. Thin it down. Thin it down. We're going to light the colour now. Again, exactly the same way. And just put some foam lines in like that. A little bit of contrast. A couple of foam lines in. That's all they are. Little bits of foam. I can wash that out. Again, you can get some pure white. Let's put some pure white there. Again, thin it down. Thinny. You thin down as much as you like with my medium mix formula because it holds the molecular bonds of the paint in place and it won't flake. So, pop along to the website if you haven't already got some, and then you can that'll help thin your paints down. And I will talk a little bit more about that in another lesson. But for now, just put some wiggly lines in like that. If you haven't got any, just use plain water, it's fine for now. Bearing in mind, if you over thin your paints, they will flake. There we go, like that. Don't be too regimental with these things. Tell you what we could do now. Oops. Sometimes I go a bit mad. I do. It's not difficult. Especially in the studio. And I'm painting away the stress of everyday life here in Wales, as I do on a frequent basis once a week on a Monday. Yes, so if you missed any lessons, go to my YouTube channel, my main channel, which is Clive5Art. You can type in Clive5Art in the search bar, hashtag Clive5Art, or you can, if you're on Google, you can type in www.youtube.com/c/Clive5Art, and there you will go into my main channel, and all my videos and things are there in playlists. There you go. Just do that as much as you want. In fact, I'm going to leave that 1 minute. I'm going to pick up some white paint just on the tip of my brush. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some splash marks there now, like this. Like as if that. Just splashing up against the rocks. There we go. And we can put that brush there. 1 second. Pick up our script lining brush once more and take a little bit off. And let's just put some water just running down these rocks like that, like as if it's all been splashed on. So you've got a little bit of water just running down a couple of these rocks like that, because a big wave have hit earlier on and it's just water like that. Picking up this brush again that we got the white on, this larping short flat, just put a little bit of foam coming down there like that. There you go. A bit of colour in there. A bit of shadow in there like that. There you go. Looks better, doesn't it? It does look better. Just looking for some details now. Just some foamy shapes in. There you go. What a lovely way to paint a seascape. I think this is a wonderful looking painting so far. I don't know what you think, but I'm quite happy with this. What we could do now is we could get a detail brush. Let's get a detail brush. Let's get a small detail brush, and I'm just going to mix a little bit of white and a little bit of blue together A little bit of white, a little bit of blue, and on your horizon, let me think, I'm going to put a little bit of a shape like this. Let's get a little bit of darker colour. Let's just darken down. Maybe a bit of blue, because it's in the distance. There we are. Just get a bit of that whiter colour. Building that side up a touch. There we go. And again, let's get some more white. I've got to think of maybe a shape like that. Maybe another shape like that. Maybe another bit of whiter. Bit whiter. We need to put some contrast in this. Get this great dirty grey colour. Let's just darken up this side a bit. Oops, too much. Don't overdo that. Okay, we overdid the other bit, but it doesn't matter. We can always rectify mistakes with acrylics. I'm just trying to get that shape of a boat. A ship. It's a ship, Clive. Not a boat. It's a ship. There we are. We're getting there. We're getting there. I need a little bit of this dark blue. A bit more black to it, I think. Just want a dark colour. I just want to put a thing like that. The ship on the horizon, the wind is blowing that way. Just mess that up a bit, doesn't matter. Let's try and tidy this up a bit. Sometimes we make mistakes, and it's not easy talking, as I said, and making a video. So, but I'm never afraid of showing my mistakes. I think it's good that you can see that even people that make YouTube videos can have accidents as well. Sometimes it inspires us to try a little bit harder on times, I think. So. Okay, I'm just going to dry that off. And I think that's just about it. I don't think I can do much more to this. So I think I'm going to call that a finished painting. Now you can sign it on either side or anywhere you want, in fact. But I think for a stormy clouds, a little boat on the horizon there, just been blown away over to the coastline there. You can get the coastline going back and it's all in mist, and you've got these breakers crashing on these wonderful rocks. So please like, comment, share and subscribe. It's important you do that. Also click the iCards by there, and that will take you through all different videos relating to this actual painting itself and others. Yes. So without further ado, thank you very much for painting away the stress of everyday life here in Wales with me. And as I said, please subscribe. So until next time, I will see you then. Nice.
It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to click subscribe. Visit clive5art.co.uk.